In other words, is looking for an act of parliament.
1 second, Honorable Namdas.
Okay.
Honorable colleagues, there are 22 members on their seats. 22, I have counted. Can you please give your names to the clerk immediately? 22. Please give your names to the clerk immediately. Go ahead, please. Namdas, you were debating your motion. You brought to come and give your name. Continue your motion. Then I will give your name for you. Namdas, please continue.
Come. They will not listen to me now. Mr. Speaker, the bill, Nigeria Institute of Translators and Interpreters Establishment Bill 2019, as I said, was first introduced in the 8th Assembly, Mr. Speaker, by my humble self. However, Mr. Speaker, this bill was referred to the relevant committees, but the 8th Assembly went on without it being considered for the third reading. That is why, Mr. Speaker, I decided to sponsor this motion in the 9th Assembly. As I said earlier, Mr. Speaker, this institute exists as I speak. The institute is only requiring for a legal backing because it has been existing since. The institute is an offshoot of the Nigerian Association of Translators and Interpreters, which was founded in 1978 by academics, professionals, and students who are well versed in linguistic activities, discipline. And because, Mr. Speaker, the institute is purely a professional institute. It is not an academic institute, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable please go back to your seat. You are just coming in. It's 10:41. Anybody that just coming in, please go back to your seats, please. There are 22 members that were here.
All right, sir.
We meet immediately.
This institute, Mr. Speaker, is purely a professional institute. It is not an academic institute where people will be certified with degrees or diplomas. Rather, it is a professional, meaning only academics and professional linguists are members of this particular institute. Mr. Speaker, what I'm saying also is that once this bill is passed and assented to, it is not going to be a burden on the federal government because they are not going to get any subvention because they exist. The institute sources of funding include that of loans, dues, and then gifts. It does not require any subvention. In the past, Mr. Speaker, people are afraid for institutes to be established for fear that it is going to also depend on the small resources in the center, and that's why there's no point. Given the fact that there is a lean resources, there is no need for us to establish more agencies. But this is not the situation here. This has been existing since 1978, and it needs only a legal backing. And my honorable colleagues, I will expect that we will show support this particular bill. In the sense, Mr. Speaker, that this institute has played a vital role even in the economy of the country. Once this bill passes through, Mr. Speaker, members of NITE will be regulate and control their professional practice in the fields of translation. Then the rights and privileges of professionals will also be protected. And Mr. Speaker, NITE is to its members just like NBA is to lawyers, or ICANN to accountants, or NMA to doctors, or NUJ to journalists. So NITE is also to its professional colleagues. So you see, it's just a professional body. Mr. Speaker, I will add by saying that translation is a very, very, very important tool, because even religious leaders or religious holy books are spread across the world when it is translated in other languages, because it really helps to take the message far and wide. And I will add, Mr. Speaker, that even the states, the federal and the state government will discover the great power of the multilingual approach in their quest to attract foreign direct investment. What I'm saying here, Mr. Speaker, the Nigerian banks, manufacturers, and exporters whose products and websites are trapped in English language will discover how multilingual localization and labeling can take their product to countries beyond their dreams, bringing in more sales to them. Mr. Speaker, what I'm also saying is that most of the manufacturers or producers of most goods have their website labeled in English language. By the time this institute and the professionals are called upon to translate what you do in website to other languages, either Arabic, French, Spanish, what have you, it will reach millions of people, and that will really help. Again, Mr. Speaker, we have what is called Nollywood, our own youths who have Nollywood, which is the entertainment industry in Nigeria, whose movies are trapped in Nigerian languages, and English will discover the lucrative power of movies, voiceovers, and subtitling in international languages. The example I want to show here, Mr. Speaker, most of us, if you go to the homes today, there's this program we call Z-World. Z-World is a movie or entertainment film that is produced in Indian language originally. But because of the power of translation, now it has been translated into other languages, including English. Today, you see in all the homes, it's difficult for you to even switch off your television when your wife and children are busy watching Z-World. And this is because it is translated to a language they can understand. And if the movies in Nigeria can also be translated into serious, let's say, international languages, our boys will make more resources and make more money out of it. Mr. Speaker, as I said earlier, this bill is very important. And before I conclude, Mr. Speaker, you have attended several international legislative conferences, and most of us here have also attended several international legislative conferences. We have ECOWAS, Pan-African Parliament, International Parliamentary Union, and for those of you who have attended United Nations programs, you will realize that those programs or conferences can never be effective if there is no translation. If you go to ECOWAS Parliament, where our leader, the Deputy Speaker, is the Deputy Speaker over there, you find out that it cannot succeed until you find people translating what we are saying in English to French and other languages. And that can all be done by professional translators and professional interpreters. I know we can speak good English, we can translate it to other languages, but we are not professionals. Why we require professional is that we require translation that can move without any meaning being changed. And that is why I earlier said that even our holy books are being translated into other languages, but it is done by people who are professional so that meanings of that are not changed anyhow. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, this is a bill that I said is very important. The institute already exists in the last 20 years. All it requires is a legal backing. It does not require any funding from federal government, no subvention. They have their sources. All they need to do is an existing and an act here to make English flow. So, Mr. Speaker, that is my contribution. That is what I can say about this bill. I pray and hope that my honorable colleagues will support this bill. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, the question is that the bill will now read a second time. Those in favour, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk, please read the long title.
Honourable Speaker, honourable members, a bill for now to establish Nigerian Institute of Translators and Interpreters and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Information, National Orientation, Ethics and Values. Honourable colleagues, the second order of the day is commencement of a bill. Commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to make provisions for integration of private closed-circuit TV infrastructure into the national security network in Nigeria and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Aji Abiante. Honourable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 5 November 2019. And I invite Honorable Abiante to move that the bill be read a second time. Honorable Abiante is not here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, my distinguished colleagues. I am Hawaji Nombek Dagomie Abiante, representing Andoni Opobo, Nkoro Federal Constituency. I rise to move that the bill for an act to make provision for the integration of private closed-circuit television (CCTV) infrastructure into the national security network in Nigeria and for related matters be read a second time. I so move.
Harari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Ari Mohamed Abdul Mumin. I represent Nasarawa Toto Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm from Nasarawa State, a home of solid minerals. I rise to second the motion, heavily moved by my colleagues, and so second.
Honorable Abiante, please lead the debate.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, my colleagues. It is very obvious, even as expressed today, with the various motions of urgent national importance, that security is indeed a challenge and a problem to us in this country. Should we continue to throw our arms in the air in surrender? Are there things that can be done, at least in our own little ways, to support the fight against all that has ravaged this country? The answer is yes. Does technology have a part to play in this regard? The answer is yes. This bill is just to assist in securing the lives and properties of Nigerians as enshrined in our Constitution, Section 14, 2B. Mr. Speaker and my colleagues, even as we speak, the infrastructure is in use in a few places, but the concern of those who use it may not have been in the overall national interest. It may not have been in the interest of securing the people. If you go to several supermarkets, Mr. Speaker and my colleagues, you will find closed-circuit televisions installed. But the concern therein is to ensure that nobody takes away one packet of Indomie or nobody takes away one tom-tom. Nothing is done to evaluate what is happening around the surroundings. Nothing is done. Even outside, if there is a fight, nobody will be able to tell you what has happened. Mr. Speaker and my colleagues, what we are trying to do is to lay a foundation that will guarantee that every public place provides this infrastructure, and not just to concern themselves with who takes Indomie and who doesn't take Indomie, but to also do surveillance around the environment. If we have a distance of 3 kilometers and we have like 4 or 5 public institutions around that area, it is very possible that if the cameras are positioned such that you can observe what is happening around the environment, we will be better secured. If there's an infraction, it will be very easy going through the footage to understand what has happened. And probably that will give enough intelligence to the security agencies to know exactly what to do, where to focus their attention. It will also encourage internal security deployment to be effective. At times you find policemen standing where they are not supposed to be, watching over nothing. But if these facilities are there, you can sit down. One policeman can do surveillance in a lot more areas. Their deployment will be a lot more effective. We have divided this bill into 8 sections. 1 is to define exactly what we are doing. 2, 3 is to say, what exactly are we going to achieve? Section 5 talks about what we have access, or who we have access to the footage that will be generated. It also tells us if there are infractions, who takes responsibility. We are not restricting this bill to Abuja. We are not restricting the enforcement to Abuja. We will also want every other state to be part of it. It is not a government effort, because that which government had done, probably because we didn't appreciate it so well, we cannot find them. There were attempts in Abuja, attempts in Lagos, probably because we didn't understand that we need this at this time. We are not having them. So if citizens will appropriate this effort, citizens will own up this effort, I'm sure government could take a cue from there and understand that this simple technology can help in solving the challenges that we have. If you go to section 7 and 8, we have tried to define a few of the terms that were used: CCTV, security, environment, premises, and all of that. Then the citation. Mr. Speaker and my colleagues, I do not want to belabor us with what this bill seeks to achieve. Those that have used it in their little ways, they have been able to support and assist in resolving some issues which would have been mysterious, and they would have remained a mystery till date. One of such issues that CCTV had enabled the security agencies to resolve was the Port Harcourt hotel killings by one suspect, Gracious David West. It was the footage that was obtained from the hotel that enabled security agents to apprehend him on his way to Akwa Ibom. Probably he would have gone to continue with the killings there in Akwa Ibom. There was an incident here in Abuja where some students went to a hotel and one of them drowned at the swimming pool. There were issues surrounding that outing. It was also resolved by the footage of the CCTV they obtained from the hotel. There was an incident in Oshodi that was also resolved through the footage of the CCTV. Even the Boston Marathon bombing was also resolved with CCTV footage. All of these were not government-installed CCTV cameras. They were installed by individuals, installed by organizations, installed so that security can be guaranteed. If this bill is passed, there may be 1 or 2 gray areas to be sorted out. Yes, we agree. At the level of public hearing, we expect to have more input. Distill it, refine it, and get something that will aid our security agents and agencies in further improving on their performance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Is there anybody that wants to speak against this bill? All right. So, question is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor, please say aye. And those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, the bill for now to make provisions for integration of private closed-circuit television (CCTV) infrastructure into the national security network in Nigeria and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on National Security and Intelligence. Honorable colleagues, the third order of the day is a motion on need to complete the Isolo Ejugo NNPC Depot Mushin Dual Carriageway. Signed the name of Honorable Daniel Abiodun Johnson. Honorable Johnson is invited to move the motion. Honorable Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Abiodun Johnson. I represent the good people of Oshodi Solo Federal Constituency 2. I rise to move the need to complete Isolo Ejigbo NNPC depot in Mushin and the dual carriageway in that local government. The House knows that over 40 years, the Murtala Obasanjo administration awarded a contract to Strabag Construction Company for the construction of a 5-kilometer single carriageway road to run through Mushin, Isolo, and Ejigbo, given the present NNPC depot at Ejigbo. Also note that the Lagos State government in 1987 awarded a contract to Messrs. Port Construction Company for the construction of a dual carriage road commencing from Okiafa Bridge, where the Mushin Isolo Ejigbo road terminated, to run through Egbe and end at Ikotun. Aware of the revised UN World Urbanization prospect statistics that the population of Lagos State, due to its initial federal capital status and vast economic opportunities, has experienced a monumental and geometric growth from about 1.4 million in 1970 to about 14 million in 2013. Also aware that in 2017, the Chartered Institute of Project Management of Nigeria stated that 12 trillion naira had been expended on about 56,000 projects across Nigeria that have been abandoned, warning that if this wasteful trend is not stemmed, it could further plunge Nigeria into economic distress. Cognizant that the Isolo Ejigbo dual carriageway and the Mushin Road are critical to the socio-economic well-being of the teeming millions of residents in more than 20 suburban communities in that axis. And upon completion, it will be the main outlet for vehicular traffic into one of the most important economic roads in Nigeria, that is Apapa-Oshodi Expressway. Recall that in a bid to bridge the nationwide infrastructural deficit, the federal government has prioritized the construction and rehabilitation of road infrastructure, especially those classified as having strategic economic importance. Worried that since the initiative by NNPC to reconstruct the road from Ejigbo Depot to Jakonde, Okiafa in 2008, which was abruptly and unceremoniously stopped, the state of vehicular traffic has worsened as a result of uncompleted stretch between Okiafa and Iyanosolo. Convinced that given the strategic importance of the road in the supply chain of petroleum products nationwide, there is an urgent need to deploy resources to complete the road and bring it to the necessary standard it deserves. Also convinced that lack of durable infrastructure, especially good roads, and the patience of abandoned projects has been the bane of the desired rapid social economic development of the country. The House resolved, Mr. Speaker, that we mandate the Committee on Works to liaise with Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to make provision for the dualization of Mushin Road from Okiafa to Apapa-Oshodi Expressway in year 2021 economic budget. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, my colleagues. I so move. Thank you, sir.
Okay, this is an infrastructure motion, so we'll just put the question. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Okay. Honorable Faleke, you can second, even though you are not on your seat.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Honorable colleagues, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is James Abiodun Faleke. I rise to second the beautiful motion moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable colleagues, the fourth order of the day is a motion on the need to re-award, contract for construction of Panyam Bokos Wamba Road, Plateau State. Stand in the name of Honorable Marin. Honorable Marin is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My very distinguished colleagues, I remain Engineer Solomon Bulus Maren, FNSE, and I represent the good people of Mangu Bokos Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Plateau State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the motion on the need to re-award the contract for the construction of Panyam Bokos Wamba Road in Plateau State. Mr. Speaker, the House notes that the contract for the construction of Panyam Bokos Wamba Road was awarded by the federal government in April 2007 to State Core Nigeria Limited. And the road, when completed, would link the Northeast through Plateau State, Nasarawa, and the Federal Capital Territory, as well as help boost economic and agricultural activities within the areas. Mr. Speaker, the House also notes that the road was segmented into 3 phases, namely Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3, respectively. And the contractor handling Phase 1, which is Panyam Bokos Dafo Road, Axis, performed dismally, which made the federal government to revoke the contract in November 2013. Informed that following the revocation of the contract, the contractor went to court challenging the decision of the federal government to revoke the contract, but the matter was settled out of court in August 2018. Also informed that the budgetary provision for the road, which has been grossly inadequate for the contractor to mobilize to site, especially as it relates to the Wamba Wanze, which is Phase 3 of the project. Concerned that despite the importance of the road to economic growth and aiding in transportation, the project has been abandoned for over 6 years since it was revoked, and the road has now become a death trap to motorists due to gullies from erosion that has ravaged the road since it was abandoned. Worried that if the contract is not re-awarded for work to resume, more lives will continue to be lost due to gullies formed as a result of excavation work earlier done on the road, and may continue to slow down development in the area. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I wish that the House do resolve and urge the federal government to include the construction of Panyam Bokos Wamba Road in the 2021 budget estimates and re-award the contract to a competent contractor. 2, mandate the committees on works and legislative compliance to ensure compliance of our resolution. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Oh, you want a second? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Abubakar Soflata. I represent the Niwa Krika Soma Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, from the Gao State. Mr. Speaker, rise to second the motion heavily moved by Honorable Marim. I so second. Thank you.
Okay. Honorable colleagues, this is an infrastructure motion, so we'll just put the question. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Fifth order of the day is a motion on need to construct a pedestrian bridge at Madala Market, Suleja, Niger State, standing in the name of Honorable Lado Abdullahi. Honorable Abdullahi is invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Lado is not on the floor, so I seek the leave of the House to step down the motion. Also, Mr. Speaker, I'm applying to also step down items number 6, number 7, number 8 on the order paper. I so move, sir.
Items number 6, 7, 8, step down. The sponsors are not here. The ninth order of the day is consideration of a bill for an act to repeal the Arbitration and Conciliation Act, Cap 118, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Arbitration and Mediation Bill to provide a unified legal framework for the fair and efficient settlement of commercial disputes by arbitration and mediation. Make applicable the Convention on the Recognition and Enforcement of Foreign Arbitral Awards, New York Convention, to any award made in Nigeria or in any contracting state arising out of international commercial arbitration, the Convention on the International Settlement Agreements resulting from mediation, the Singapore Convention, and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that the bill was committed to the Committee on the Whole on Wednesday, 18 December 2019. Honorable Mohammed Mongonu will move for its consideration.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Honorable Mongunu is not on the floor. I apply that the bill is stepped down by the leave of the House. I so move, sir.
Bill stepped down. 10th order of the day is consideration of a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Institute of Environmental Practitioners of Nigeria and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that the bill was committed to the Committee of the Whole on Wednesday, 9th October 2019. Honorable Makwe will move for its consideration. Honorable Makwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Benjamin Okeze-Carlo. I represent the people of Nigeria, starting from then the Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I received the mandate of Honorable Makwe Livinis to help him stand in because he's currently sick in the hospital. With your permission, I would like to go ahead with this bill.
That's a new one. Where's the mandate?
Mr. Speaker, the mandate is here. May I read it?
Are you a co-sponsor?
I didn't hear that, Mr. Speaker.
Are you a co-sponsor?
Were you a co-sponsor of the bill?
No, Mr. Speaker, he told me that he has informed the chairman, business and rules.
The chairman, business and rules? No, No, I'm just wondering aloud if you have the power to mandate somebody to stand in. Yes, Chairman, go ahead.
Yeah, Honorable Makwe approached the chair of Rules and Business. Of Rules and Business.
No. I just wanted to hear. I didn't know you had the power to allow somebody to stand in for somebody. You know, I think it might have been easier if it was maybe presentation or laying of a report or something, because that just doesn't require much. But if we're talking about consideration and we go to the committee of the whole, you are going to need to speak to the bill, and no doubt I'm sure you can speak to the bill, but it's better for whoever sponsored the bill to come and speak to the bill. Otherwise, you run into a situation where members will be absent and they'll say somebody else come and speak to my bill, and then if something goes wrong with the consideration of the report, they'll blame you for not speaking well to the bill. So I think whoever sponsors a bill should try and take ownership of that bill as much as possible. So we wish Honorable Makwe speedy recovery, and we'll wait for him to get out of hospital, can come and move for the consideration of his report.
I move that the bill be stepped down by the leader of the House. So moved, sir.
Bill, step down. House Leader, can you please move that the House resolved it to the Committee of the Whole? Actually, do we have any matter in the Committee of the Whole? We don't. Honorable colleagues, yesterday we announced the health talk for members. I've just been reminded that we need to remind ourselves, and can you please pass the message on to our members that are not here? It is on the health talk, health education program organized by the Office of the Speaker on public health and family health and personal health. It holds tomorrow, and we have our keynote speakers, Dr. Osahon Enabulele, President, West African Medical Association. The venue is Conference Room 231 in the new building. The time is 2:30. So after we leave here tomorrow, I think it's important and imperative that members should go, and I'm sure there will be some medical takeaways at the health talk. And when I say takeaways, I mean things that you'll be able to, that will help us in sustenance of our health. Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Comrade Peter Ohiozoji Akwatisin, MNI, representing the great people of Akoko Edo Federal Constituency, Edo State. Mr. Speaker, I move that this House adjourn till 11 o'clock, 13th of February, 2020. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndudi Godwin Elmelu, and I represent the good people of Anocho Shimele Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. I rise to second the motion moved by the Deputy Leader of the House, that this House do adjourn till tomorrow, 11 o'clock. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. The House is adjourned till 11 a.m. tomorrow.